Hey YouTube, after going to my local Toysrus's for about the last week and a half, pretty much every day going to a different Toysrus trying to find this, I was able to find this one in the one that was pretty much closest to my house, which is kind of ironic. But anyway, now that I've been able to find the Legacy Saba sword, I'm going to do a review of it, or an overview so that you can see what it's like before you purchase it, because it does cost a pretty penny. And the Toysrus by me was price gouging. It was, I believe, $115 before the coupons I had, but if you don't have coupons, it can be $115. Anyway, the quality on it is amazing, and the thing is huge itself, but I'm going to show you the box real quick before we get into detail with the Saba sword itself. This is what the front looks like, not too different. If you look on the top, you can see that on the old Legacy Ranger toys, like the Legacy Megazord and Legacy Morpher, you would see the Red Ranger, black, blue, pink, and then yellow. In this one, they actually put the White Ranger on the top of it. And just to show you the back real quick, it just gives you a brief overview of what the sword does. It talks, the tiger mouth moves, the eyes light up, and the sword retracts. That's really all there is to it. There isn't much more than that. And to show you the detail that they put into this, here's Saba's head, and you can see it actually has detail under the eyes and by the ears and on the top of the ears, almost like some kind of stippling. If you don't know what that is, it's like black dots to give shadow. The helmet itself is completely metal. The black part is also metal too, or at least it feels to be. It also does work. It doesn't, it's not just a prop. It actually does have electronic lights and sounds, and I'm going to play them for you now so you can hear it. Now, once you're done playing all the voice recordings, it does cycle back, and as you can see, these two buttons right here are actually the buttons you press in order to make Saba talk. There's the battery pack on the back, and also two buttons on the inside handle, which make sword sounds. I guess that's the best way to put it. Various slashes, clanging, if you're pretending you're swinging the sword, and you can hit the button, it'll swoosh. It's not like a lightsaber, it's not motion activated like that, like those Force Effects lightsabers are. It just makes the sound when you push the button. And just to flip it around, you can see that the battery pack is actually fairly obvious, although I don't really know how to get it open. I assume it has something to do with that hole on the top. And you can see the on-off switch here. It's actually right under the handguard. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Right next to the power coin, basically. It's an on-off switch. It's not very hard to hit, and it's very easy to move. But the cool thing is, when you do turn the sword on, it makes Saba growl, so it gives you some kind of indication that you've actually turned the sword on. And the sword itself does grow. You could extend the blade and, I guess, de-extend the blade, whatever you want to call it, retract. So here you can see the sword is short. I'm going to now extend the blade with a box as the comparison in the background so you can see how big it gets. Now, when you're extending and contracting the blade, its path is very similar to a straight line leaned backwards. It doesn't have a arced path for the blade. It rather just moves in a straight line down and forward and up and back. So the blade does stick out more when you move it forward, and when you move it back, it is a little slimmer. It does line up perfectly with the guard when it's extended completely, and when you retract the blade, it does pretty much fit into it as well. They really got the angles right on this thing. The plastic for it is very stiff and is very strong. The detail that they put on the handle and on the sword itself, like the plastic sword edge, is ridiculous. There's even a plastic insert within the blade itself that's made of rigid, detailed, imprinted plastic. It's not a sticker or anything like that. And though this does have metal accents, the blade, of course, is a dull plastic, the tip of the blade itself. It does feel very rigid and it's very stiff. It's not going to bend on you, but it is plastic. And just to show you, when you retract the blade, it does sit very well. It's not, ugly to have the blade retracted. It looks very nice either way, retracted or not retracted. And just to give you a close-up of all the gold accents this thing has, it is beautiful. Most of the gold you see here is metal. It is not plastic. It is not actual gold, I don't think. I don't think it's coated like the Dragon Dagger was. But the coin itself is beautiful. It has like a brushed background. I don't know how they did that, but it's black and gold brushed. It looks really nice. The coins are metal, and they are on both sides. They're not one side more detailed than the other. One side does have screw holes, but they actually managed to cover every single screw hole, so it doesn't take away from it. The claws you see are plastic, and this weird plastic wedge is, well, like I said, plastic. That's the only plastic golden part on the sword besides the detailing on the blade of the sword. Now, everything you see here is completely metal, and it is mirror polished, basically. It fits very well, it looks really good. The detail on the sword is just crazy. You can see the screw holes a little bit because they put circular reflective pieces of metal on top of them, but I'm really glad they covered all the screw holes, because that's one thing I hated about Power Ranger toys. And just to show you what the hilt itself looks like looking up towards the blade of the sword, it's just so good looking. I don't know how to describe it. The gold you see there towards the end of the sword is all plastic, however, but it is very nice and has an imprinted detail stuck on it. And just so you can see on the handle itself, the screw holes are very, very hard to see. There's actually 2 others, I think, in this shot that you just can't see because of how much light you'd need to shine on it to see them. Both sides of the handles are pretty much indiscernible thanks to the screw hole covers, and the black gold you see me touching now is actually metal. That accent piece is metal glued on top of metal. The half spheres that are golden to the side of that, though, are plastic. And the black tiger stripes that are on the metal hood or helmet are crazy detailed. They almost look like they're laser etched in. I don't know how they did it, but it has a texture to it. And the only text I could find on the sword is right here where it says Bandai 2014. Go figure, it's 2015, and it says Made in China. So I guess they were withholding it for, you know, North America, but whatever. And the only thing I have that's a problem with this sword is that right at this hinge in the middle, right after the, I guess, sword handguard, it seems a little wobbly right there. Not very wobbly, but when I picked up the sword, you could feel it give at that joint. It doesn't seem to be a solid piece of plastic or a piece of metal, anything holding it in there. It just seems to be held together by a couple screws in there. That's the only problem I really have with the sword. Otherwise, it's fantastic. Nothing else feels loose on it at all. Other than that, it feels completely solid, and it is sized to an adult. It's not meant for kids, really. It's more of a replica than a toy you should play with a lot or, you know, fiddle with. I'm personally going to hang it on my wall with my dragon dagger. And as a kid, I was never able to get Saba or the White Tiger Zord. My girlfriend was kind enough to buy me an original White Tiger Zord a while ago, and now the Legacy one's coming out, so I'm going to buy that one for myself. But I'm glad I was able to get this Legacy Saba, and I can't wait to get the Legacy White Tiger Zord and do a review of that too. Like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Although somebody's been giving me thumbs down on my videos as the first view. No matter what, the first view always gives it a thumbs down, and it's weird, like somebody has a grudge against me or something. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to click subscribe if you liked it, because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.